How would you rate Saleh's last game?
I thought he did a good job. He's starting to. I don't want to say he's starting to figure it out. It's just the natural progression. I mean, he's been getting some good amount of reps, and trying to find his way through and trying to find his niche. So I think he's been doing a good job. And yesterday's or Sunday's game was he made some impact plays that didn't land on the stat sheet, but he had a presence.
Is he somebody that does benefit from a lot of reps, just getting used to playing?
I think they all do. They really do. That's when you're talking about young guys coming into the league and just the different things that they see and what they've been exposed to. There is a progression that they go through, and it's they all need reps. I don't think it's a surprise that Eric Armstead's probably having his best year. It just takes time. So it's love the direction he's going.
Robert, what in your time with DeForest, what have you seen from him that's allowed you maybe to alter or adjust the scheme to allow him to be so successful at getting to the quarterback from the interior?
Buck, we talked about it last year. Buck had so many pressures on the quarterback and so many QB knockdowns, but the number of sacks wasn't matching up and we talked about him needing to find that extra half a step. That was what he was missing. And he's done a really good job working on it this offseason and just working on his ability to close on quarterbacks once he wins his one-on-one, disengaging and getting off blockers. So he's really taken to heart and really he's found that step. And so, I mean, he's still got a couple more, and he's left a couple out there too. He'll even tell you that he could very easily be around 15 if everything went his way.
Some of his challenges to get to Trubisky.
They do a really good job protecting the quarterback. They get the ball out quick, and again, it comes down to winning your one-on-ones. And Trubisky is very good. He's like a young Russell Wilson back in when Russell first came out, where he just runs and he's got tremendous speed. And I mean, Russell still runs, but it's another challenge to try to make sure that we're great in our with rush lane discipline and keeping him in the pocket so we can get him down if the coverage can hold up.
Improvements have you seen from him from last year and this year?
Trubisky, he looks decisive. He's making plays with his feet. I feel like more than he did a year ago, and he's not afraid of taking shots down the field. He's obviously the scheme allows him to locate a lot of one-on-ones, so he could take advantage of those. So he's doing a really good job within the scheme, moving the chains and getting points.
What have your impressions been of Elijah Lee these last couple of weeks?
Elijah's a very steady football player. He's very smart, knows where to be, knows where to go. And the cool thing about Elijah is that when he's been in those positions, he's been able to make plays. So I like where he's going to. He's a very steadying force in there,
He visited here, I think, before last year's draft. Did you get a chance to meet with him and form an impression then?
Yeah. He was a guy that we're interested in. We actually tried to get him one time before we actually got him. So we're trying to get him over to the practice squad initially. And then injuries happened early in the year, and it allowed us to get him on our active. So he was someone that we were trying to get all the way through, even after the draft. So he made a good first impression.
What did you like about him as a player?
His demeanor, his speed, his versatility, the fact that he was raw and still he hadn't played a lot of linebacker, and the fact that he put on good tape as a linebacker, so we knew that he had a lot to learn, but could. And so he's from the day he got here, from first day of practice all the way till now, he's just done nothing but get better. And he's actually one of our better zone defenders in terms of drops and demeanor, feet in the ground with vision on the quarterback. So he's coming along. Excited to see. He hasn't reached his ceiling yet, so I'm excited to see where that goes.
Feels like there's some of Solomon Thomas, where he's got that DeForest Buckner syndrome last year, where it's like there's so many plays where he's close, and you've seen that last couple of weeks where almost it's right there getting the sack. And so is that you just tell him keep working, they'll come? Is there technique things that you see like you're right there? If you switch this, then you're good and you'll make that play.
For sure, Z and Kiff do a great job in terms of. There's a part of transition to Saleh because he doesn't have a problem capturing edges. He does. He can win on an edge. It's when he wins on that edge, his ability to drive through and capture that edge and finish on the quarterback. That's the part he's working through. And he's left a couple sacks out there, but over the past 3 or 4 games, he's had some presence out there that hasn't, that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but he is moving in the right direction. It's the same thing. You got to keep coaching him. He's got to keep seeing different looks, different linemen, different sets, and he'll get better. He'll continue to get better as he continues to get reps.
Is inside going to be his home now? I mean, have you kind of settled on this is where he's going to live?
He still gets outside. I think last week he had, God, I'm blurting. I'm going to be honest with you. It was around 50 snaps. I want to say it was split inside and outside. So it's still the same thing, trying to utilize him to spell buck every once in a while. You know, in rundowns, there's only 1-3 technique, and that's Buckner. So to try to utilize that along with our pass downs to make sure we get 2-3 techniques out there. So it's a balancing act, and so it's no different than what the plan has always been. It's just a matter of trying to find even more opportunities somehow, some way.
What do you make of the fact that Chicago, I think, is 22nd in yards, but 10th in scoring? And it's kind of a weird combination.
You know, one game, I think against Buffalo, they had 40 points and 195 yards. So, you know, the game was over at halftime. They don't need to put yards up anymore. So they're very efficient. They score points. They're very good in the red zone. They protect the quarterback really well. They get very exotic in critical situations, and so they play good complementary football with their defense. So I don't think yardage really tells the story of what they're capable of offensively.
There's a line of thinking that turnovers year to year, you know, it can vary drastically. And does that give you confidence that maybe next year you could get some regression and things can go your way and you could force more turnovers?
There's no doubt. I've never seen it like this before in my life, where the ball just sits on the ground and the bounces that other teams have gotten, the drops. I'm baffled, I'll be honest with you, but it can flip in a hurry. You know, I look at Chicago from 16 and 17. They had, I think it was 24 interceptions combined, and this year they have, what do they have, 28, 27, something like that. So, or whatever they have. It's so they come in bunches, and it's all rush coverage, everything tying in together. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be in the middle of the pack with all the opportunities that we have had. And for one reason or another, I swear I've never seen it as almost snake bitten. I think I need to probably go to church a little more. So.
Is opportunities a stat that you guys track, like league-wide? Do you see like turnover opportunities?
Missed ops and all that, absolutely, yeah. We've had a lot of them.
Where do you guys rank in terms of opportunities versus missed ops?
You know what, that part I don't know compared to the league. I just know what we have had, and if you just take half of our missed ops, we'd be somewhere in the middle of the pack. So I've never seen it as snake bit as we've been this year.
I know you haven't studied the Bears defense, but you're familiar with Vic Fangio. You've worked with him.
Yep.
You're in the same coordinator fraternity. From one coordinator to another, what do you admire about the way he does his job, and what are the hallmarks of a Vic Fangio defense?
Vic, he's very meticulous. This was a long time ago now, so I'm trying to recall. I was his quality control. So, but he is very detailed. He's very meticulous. He's got a great understanding for numbers in terms of what offenses are trying to do to him and all that. But as far as from a philosophy standpoint, we share the same philosophy in regard to do not give up explosives. Do not put the players in a position where they don't know what they're doing. Let them go play hard. Let them go play fast. And so it's predicated on being sound and making sure that you keep everything in front, and offenses cannot go 10 plays consistently. And when you mix that type of mindset with what he has right now, you end up with a defense that just destroys people. And right now everything is hitting on all cylinders for them, and so it's good. I'm glad he's having some success.
Richard Sherman mentioned on Sunday after the game that you guys showed them a highlight tape of Seahawks making big plays after big plays. What was the inspiration behind that? Do you feel like guys responded, didn't enjoy watching that? You
know what? It was that game in Seattle. It was embarrassing for everybody because that's not who we are, and we were 2 weeks removed. We were all feeling really good about that Denver game, and it was just something that felt like we needed to be reminded Saturday night of what that felt like, and to make sure that did not happen again. Complacency leads to failure, and so there was just, I wanted us to go in knowing exactly what that felt like so it wouldn't happen again.
Did you get a sense that it resonated?
I think they were ready no matter what. I'm not going to put too much stock in the video. I think they were ready to roll. I think they all felt it and they knew what they needed to do to get it done last week or on Sunday.
Marcel Harris having missed his senior year with an injury. What kind of things did you like about him coming out of college that maybe offset not having the whole body of work of his to see because of the injury?
We mentioned it last week. It's his violence, the speed at which he played. Felt like he was very instinctive, short tackler. He had no hesitation in his game, and all that stuff is showing up. And he's still trying to get healthy and trying to get familiar. I mean, think about it. It's like his 4th preseason game that's coming up. You know, he hasn't had that opportunity to play. So we're excited to have him, and we're excited to continue to try to develop him.
Just go ahead, Elisha Lee. Has he done enough to? It looks like you're going to try to find the person next to Warner for next year. Is he done enough to you think about him and at least be in the competition to be a starter there?
For sure. Elijah has done enough. DJ Reed at Nickel's done enough to talk about competition. Same thing with Marcel at strong safety. Everybody, all these young guys that have stepped up over the last 4 games have done enough to make sure that they're part of the conversation where it's not ones and twos in terms of reps come OTAs. It's 1A, 1B, and go sort it out. So,
has Fred become a leader of this defense as the year has gone on, and if so, like what's his leadership style?
You know what? I believe the greatest form of leadership, or the strongest form of leadership, is servant leadership. I think everybody in the world can be a leader so long as you serve the person next to you, and your objective is to help the person next to you get better. With that said, with regard to Fred, I think he's been leading all year, and his style of leadership has been the fact that he's helping 10 other guys be confident in what they have to do. So he's helping in that regard. Now, in terms of vocally and holding people accountable and being one of the guys that calls people out, I don't know if that part's there yet. That'll come as he continues to gain more experience. But he has been a tremendous servant leader in the sense that he's been owning his job, taking care of his job, and helping 10 other people get ready. And so that, in a way, has made him a leader.
What did you think of DeForest last week, and what are some of the things you're stressing to him right now?
Same thing as all those other young guys. I think we had 5 rookies out there at one point against Seattle, but he's got to get his reps and continue to get better. It's all new to him. There's things that happen to him that are just aha moments, and that's what we're going to have, especially over the next 2 weeks. You just hope those aha moments don't get him caught. Last week there was a couple that went unnoticed to the naked eye, but could have been really, really bad. And so I love his demeanor, I love his physicality, I love his mindset. So he's got to continue to learn how to play corner, which he has been. He's come a very, very long way. And these 2 games will hopefully solidify that for him.
You have quite a young defense. I understand Warner's a rookie, but has he had sort of a veteran's impact just in terms of his maturity and professionalism?
Yeah, that for sure. We could ask him to do things that you'd never ask a rookie to do. And every week we add a little something onto his plate in terms of just with checks and all that stuff. So I've said it before, Paul Postlesny is probably the smartest linebacker I've ever had the privilege to coach, and he would have the whole playbook on his back. Now Fred doesn't have that, but he's very capable. Obviously, we won't do that to a rookie, but that veteran presence, he speaks like he's a veteran, so he's been good. All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.